There are countless men and women in the world who label their father as the greatest there is. Now, this is not a very difficult feat, given that most people only have one dad. Unless, of course, your mother is Joan Collins. Then you've probably got several to choose from. Or you live on a South London council estate. Then the choice is abundant. However, for most people in the Western world, most people just have the one father and are stuck with them. Unless, of course, you're adopted, which is a different matter. For example, for my 14th birthday, I decided to tell my parents that I was adopted. This, of course, came as a complete surprise to them, as they were convinced that I'd inherited my stupidity from my father. Isn't that wonderful? But otherwise, most fathers, in my opinion, are really quite ineffective, because they seem to have full-time jobs, and to be a full-time father is difficult to do when you've got a full-time job. My least favourite kind of father is the one who just comes home from work to read the newspaper. This is kind of like a lodger, but with a much longer tenancy and more baggage. Fortunately, I never had this problem with my own dad, as he couldn't read. Then, of course, there's the father who would love to see his children every day, but unfortunately he's divorced. So he kind of like is a bachelor during the week. He has weekend rights, so he's a bachelor during the week and a criminal at the weekend. Which can be quite a lot of fun once you get past a woman who hates you. And she proves she hates you, actually, by charging you several £100 a month. The evidence of which is on your bank balance. Now, fathers who find themselves in this very tragic and unrewarding situation often join Fathers for Justice. Now, I don't know if any of you have heard of Fathers for Justice, but they're kind of like a modern day version of the suffragette movement. Except in most cases they're more attractive than the suffragettes. And they wear prettier costumes as well. You know, quite a lot of them dress up as Batman and Superman and hang off buildings, you know, to get their children's attention. Unfortunately, they usually get the attention of everybody but their children, and quite often the police as well. Then, of course, we've got the father who appeases his children by buying them gifts like iPhones and the latest technology. And this is about as futile as Cliff Richard visiting a brothel. You know, it doesn't work, and it causes things like hyperactive attention deficit disorder. Now, my father used to do this. He would buy me gifts. For example, for my 8th birthday, just to silence me, you know, for my 8th birthday, he bought me an electric chainsaw. Isn't that lovely? But if you think all this is insane, wait until you see this next sketch.